Hello and welcome back to Outside the System with your boy Mr. Nobody. If you don't know what you're watching, check the title down below. This is part 2 of what if Albedo made his copy of the Omnitrix early. If you want to check out the first video, you can. But I mean, it's not that great, and probably this one won't be either. Woo! And I don't need. But if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me give you a quick recap of what happened last time. Previously on Albedo 10. Albedo, the Galvin apprentice of the head Galvin, Asmith, creator of the legendary Omnitrix, makes his copy early, wanting to prove himself to his master. But unfortunately, Asmith sends his Omnitrix to the Earth for some plumber named Max Tennyson? How could he just give the Omnitrix away to some human? Albedo couldn't stand it. So he goes off and he flies his ship. He goes to fly his ship to Earth. That's not how spaceships sound. Uh, and during his approach, he gets cut off by the tyrant Vilgax. He wants nothing more than to have the Omnitrix in his grasp. As as he approaches, he gets caught up in the space dogfight. His ship being damaged, he crash lands on Earth. Boom! Just like having his Omnitrix be activated because the child Ben Tennyson has just put on the original. Given that both of them are DNA linked, Albedo becomes identical copy of Ben, leading to him becoming immensely angry. He goes to find Tennyson, and they get into a scuffle. But neither of them come out on top at the end. They meet again later, and this time, because how much time the Omnitrixes had to be together, they interlock, creating a feedback loop that could destroy the whole universe. Albedo has to deactivate his permanently to save them both. But in doing so, it's broken. So right before he leaves, he steals the Omnitrix of Ben Tennyson using one of the codes for the Omnitrix that he knows to to remove the vice from his wrist, making him the sole Omnitrix wielder. After a couple days go by, Phil at ex plumber hears news of aliens stealing materials from different parts of the of the area. It's like given that he likes to make money, it's like and it, and he could get paid pretty well. He goes to stop the alien, but finds out the aliens. But it turns out it's Albedo wielding the Omnitrix. Woo! And it's like Phil seeing an opportunity says, "Okay, so you got the Omnitrix. How about you help me reinstate the plumbers on Earth? I get to relive the good days, fighting monsters. It's like getting my money up, all that. We about to be living a vida loca. And once the plumbers are back on Earth, you'll get all the materials you need to turn yourself back to normal." Albedo agrees. It's like he was like, "Yeah, I wanna be normal." He agrees reluctantly, not truly wanting to be partnered up with him. And that's how we got to part 2. Part 2, we start off on the road. This sleek blue muscle car zooming on the highway. Zoom. It's like Phil is driving recklessly, and Albedo's in the back seat. How much longer till we're there? Not too much. Phil responds, not too much longer. One of my old friends told me that there's a chance some a magical artifact could show up at this at this pop-up market. So once we show up there, it should be pretty easy to find. We'll be there in like an hour, okay? Fine. Why do we have to do this anyway? How would this get the plumbers back on Earth? Phil says it won't, but it will pay for our our next hotel room. So try to be a bit more enthusiastic. So they show up at the market. Phil gives Albedo 10 whole dollars. That's a lot of money for a kid. Phil says, all right, kid, uh, take the money and buy whatever you want. I'll meet you back around later. Either of us find the artifact, we grab it, we go. Simple. See ya. And first off, Albedo is like, I'm not a kid. Why? And what would I even want from a human market? Don't patronize me. And but eventually he goes off on his own, and he runs into something he actually does like: a slushy machine. He tried a slushy before when Phil first met him. There's something about it that's very good. Just couldn't put his mind on it. Why would he like a human drink so much? It infuriated him. But he did have enough money to buy it. And right when he was about to, he sees the magical artifact, the Titan gauntlets that they came here for. Albedo immediately becomes happier, seeing that he doesn't have to hang around in this human swallow any longer. He buys the artifact reluctantly because he really did want to try some more slushies. But it's like he buys it. But unfortunately for Ben, I mean Albedo. What, Ben? Albedo, evil Ben? I, I don't know where it's going with that. But so Albedo is not the only person looking for the gauntlets. Hex, who has previously lost them before, pulls up to the market with his niece Charmcaster. Furious that such a powerful magical artifact would be sold at a simple market. And it's like he starts destroying the place. Vendor after vendor exploding and objects flying around. He's slinging curses. He's infuriated, and then he comes across Albedo. So you're the one who has my gauntlets. Hand them over now, and I will make this as painless as possible. Albedo, not being one to back down, says, please, try. Albedo do- lightly taps his wrist, transforming into Diamond Head. He goes toe to toe with Hex in a crazy fight that wrecks multiple stalls around them. Phil, seeing the commotion, runs over as fast as possible. Don't tell me that kid got into trouble. I'm way too old for this. He shows up and he runs into Charmcaster. He's like, okay, You should probably get out of here. Don't you see the commotion? And she says, I do. I mean, it's just my uncle. And she blasts a ball of magical energy right next to Phil's face that he barely dodges. It's like, okay, so you're in trouble. He pulls out his laser sword and gets ready to attack her. It's like Charmcaster easily removes the sword from his hands. And Phil is now like, I'm really freaked, aren't I? And he jumps over a table as he's blasting it's like countless magical projectiles at him, blasting through the wood. Getting tired of messing with Phil herself, she throws a bunch of clay golems from her bag, throws them into the air, and when these land on the ground, they turn into hulking monsters. Boom, boom, boom. Phil manages to slide under one and pick back up his sword, and he starts fighting them. Then we switch back to Albedo and Hex. Albedo is trying his best, making d- crystalline constructs and trying to hit the just like the older sorcerer, but he can't seem to land any hits on him because of his magical barriers and his really floaty movement. Hex decides that this creature is a little too hard to beat, so he tries something different. It's like he puts two civilians in harm's way. Albedo having to play the hero for their plan to work, goes and saves the people and throws away the gauntlets. Albedo more it's like Albedo now not having to deal with Hex runs over and elbow check just like one of the golems, absolutely obliterating it, helping Phil clean up the rest of them. Just like then he hears the signature sound, doom, 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 doom. It is Eddie D transforms back and is his normal his kid form. Al- Albedo and Phil are like, all right, they're gone, and they're a bit tough to fight. We could just let them have the gauntlets. Albedo says it's far too troublesome to deal with them, and Phil would normally agree, but first off, he likes a challenge, and second off, are you gonna pay for our next hotel room? We have to go catch them. Why Hex is leaving, Charmcaster comes back and tells them that she would love to help them defeat Hex. He's so mean and cruel. She never wanted to do any of this stuff. If the helper be her uncle, then she won't ever do bad stuff ever again. They're not falling for this. They know a trick when they see one. They aren't stupid. But I mean, beating Hex, especially when he's about to get power amped by the gauntlets, is gonna be difficult. So the accept and going to the abandoned building nearby, the 3v1 Hex in this big fight. Magic is flying everywhere. It's like a raid boss in a video game. He's shooting large waves of magic. Everything is going crazy. But then, eventually, it's like with Albedo still in his normal form, he managed to sneak up and managed to sneak up and hit Hex with a normal piece of plywood, it smacked him upside the head. And leaving a large enough opening for Charmcaster to incapacitate him. But as he's on the ground, Charmcaster grabs the gauntlets. Now I will be the most powerful. Just like like she's like ranting like she's already won. Finally, the watch comes back on. It turns back into the color that Albedo loves to see, and he goes and taps the Omnitrix. He turns into Upgrade. After learning about the proper the properties of this magical device, he figured out how to destroy it. As she's trying to power up, so you want power. Let me give you as much as I possibly can. He goes inside the gauntlets and then he starts getting powerful, more power, until they can't handle it anymore. And all the power comes out all at once and explodes. Boom! The pieces of the gauntlet scatter everywhere. And Phil can only smack his face or have his face in the palm of his hand as he realizes they're gonna have to sleep in the car tonight. Charmcaster falls to the ground, and unlike Hex, she's not completely knocked out. Phil, being ever opportunist, offers to take in Charmcaster, given that her uncle is most likely gonna be mad at her, and they can. It's like when they get the plumbers reinstated, she can have any magical artifact that she wants, seeing a chance to become even more powerful, and maybe even one day going back to Leisure Domain with the strength that she needs to beat Alwecha. She decides to join the two idiots on their adventure. And that's the end of part 2. Uh, if you liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Next time we'll be covering more episodes and post-credit scene. Right now, if you're still watching, that's how I know you're a real one. It's like they go back to the market, and Albedo is able to get the slushy machine that he wanted from before. Peak fiction. Over and out. See you back outside the system.